We were just talking about how much we love the trailer and sort of the ominous tone and everything that we've seen in the footage. I've seen a bunch of the footage so far. I love it. Is this going to be the scariest Godzilla we've seen?
That would probably have been our goal when we started. Obviously, you've got to aim high. Whether we've achieved anything like it is up for people, for people like you to say. But I think that, it's the original. The thing is with Godzilla is everybody remembers. Some people are big fans and they know all the movies, but a lot of people have this vague memory of when they were a child or they glimpsed it on TV, and it's this kind of like slightly campy, fun kids monster thing. And for some of the movies are a bit like that. I personally love them, but a lot of people haven't seen or know the very first movie, which is the 1954 one, which is really a black and white, probably the most serious monster movie ever made, which is really one big metaphor for Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the events that happened there. And I was saying that, if Japan could have made a film about Hiroshima, they would have, but the censorship wouldn't allow it back then. So they did this monster movie, and they had this thing smash up a city and leave radiation everywhere, and it was a very cathartic thing for them. And so that movie, like that, if you watch that original, that's very harrowing and it's very haunting what happens in that. Like, children die of radiation sickness and things like this. And so as much as I'd love to say, like, oh yeah, we're going to be the first to take it seriously, like, it was actually, the original had it right, and it was coming from a place of, like, it had meaning and it was an analogy for other things, which I think all great fantasy and science fiction is. And so, yeah, that was a high benchmark, and we tried to find the same things in this. We were looking for what's relevant today, what does Godzilla represent? Like, that's kind of the first question you ask yourself when you start this process, and yeah.
We've started to see in recent images a little bit of his personality come out. We've seen more of his face. Can you sort of talk about, historically, Godzilla's rode that line between hero and villain. How did you find that balance for this film? He's obviously got the Mutos, his enemies, things like that. So how does he sort of strike that balance?
Well, I don't know what we can say about that, but I think you do get into, like, is he a hero, is he the enemy? And I think maybe the best description ends up being he's an anti-hero, in that he's kind of like, we're insignificant to him. For a long period of time when we were figuring this out, we decided that he would not look at a single human. Like, he would just, we were kind of irrelevant. Like, as a race, we're like ants. And so it was trying to find his character. Like, you think you know him, like an actor, really. When you work with an actor, you kind of think you know that actor, and you think you know the character. And after conversations with them, and then 6 months into filming or whatever, you come away from the end, you know that character so much better than when you began. You wish you could go back in time and tell them what you know now. And it feels the same with Godzilla. It's like, I feel like I know him now. And when we started, we thought we knew him, but this process has kind of brought him out in a way. It was, I don't know, it was like over a year of writing.
Oh yeah, a lot of time spent, and it's a difficult line to walk. But we always talked about not anthropomorphizing Godzilla, but there's an interiority, and he's a force of nature. But you have to see the movie to not give it all away. Yeah. But certainly.
Can you talk a little bit about how you eventually worked with Andy Serkis to capture some of that human emotion for him?
Yeah, Andy was really a consultant on the film, and he helped out with finding some of that character, and it was like an honor to work with him. I mean, I'm in awe of his work. He's a phenomenal actor. Forget motion capture and all that. He's just phenomenal. But also the effects were really done by the Moving Picture Company and Double Negative. They did most of the CGI, and so it's a massive team effort. And some of the thing the animators first ask you, obviously, when you start, is like, if Godzilla was a real person, like a real character, who would he be? And you go, oh God, okay, who would it be? And some of the answers like we came up with were, well, he's probably like the last samurai, like an ancient warrior that is the last of his kind. He's old and very happy to leave us alone and just live out his life. But the things that we do bring him back, and he has to come and fix them, and we suffer the consequences type thing.
We're very, very excited for this to come out, but we're also thinking, like, what would a sequel be? Do you have some ideas about that already?
I don't want to jinx it. If people like the film, that'll all those conversations will happen. But right now, it's just like we made it it was very important. This is self-contained. You don't have to have seen any other film. This is it. Go to the cinema.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours. It's not really part of a if it works. I feel like the best.
No baby Godzillas.
Yeah, the best way to like, I hate the words like franchise and stuff, but if the best way to have a franchise is to make the best film you possibly can, and if people embrace it and like it, then you get the opportunity to do another. And so we didn't even talk about it, did we, when we were, in terms of building anything into this film?
No, it was always just about. I mean, certainly ideas pop up, and you're like, okay, but maybe, but that's. It was always about making a coherent story that was going to be as fulfilling as it could be.
There were definitely things we tried to put in the film, and then after a while it was like, okay, if we're ever lucky enough to do it, that can get... Because like you just can't all fit in one movie, especially an origin story. It's like it's got a certain task it has to fulfill.
You've also drawn on Destroy All Monsters a little bit on this one, right? As well as the 54?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he fights something else, so that's
element.
True.
We know. We've seen the toys. All right, thank you guys so much for your time.